All right, pay close attention. I'm going to explain to you flat Earth and what the difference is between the hooting and hollering of people that use just a Bible perspective to consider flat Earth and what most people really think. I'm going to give you the physical perspective. I'm going to give you the meta perspective. I'm going to give you the allegory of what all the stories have been telling you. I'm going to give it to you. It's from so many different directions. I'm going to tell you actually what's going on through the densities and the vibrations, what getting out of body is. I'm going to I'm going to do a lot of things here. So here, listen. It works like this. God is a scientist that is you, who placed you on a flat plane inside a realm of the larger cosmos, which is also inside of you. It's a redundant system. It's it's holographic. There's a microcosm and a macrocosm. So for people that say, "Oh, you believe in flat Earth, so you think there's edges and we're gonna fall off," and it's silly. This is not what 99% of people believe that know that we live on a flat plane of existence. However, that's not the whole thing. And when we say we don't believe in planets that are around in outer space, it's not that we don't believe that. It's how we believe in where we are on this dimension, on this plane of existence, and what it is. So let me further show you how this works. What all these stories are. There's these stories of these archetypical gods and these mermaids. I'm going to get into what the moon is, the moon matrix, what getting out of body is, the Fisher King, which is the Jesus Christ figure, Kundalini, and I'm going to show you from every single physical, metaphysics, and allegory that I can. But it's this basic. That little spot down there is what most people that believe in a flat earth, they believe that we live in that. And this is what I would assume as well, to a degree. Because again, that dome there is your skull. You live inside of your skull, but you live on a flat surface. Because how else would it work? But it's not saying that above that, and if we get a little farther into the allegory of who the Jesus Christ figure is, which is Kundalini, which is the fish god, which is the fisher of men, or the fisher king, lives above the waters. Even the people that use the Bible for to regurgitate what it says in there because they have a belief system in the Bible as infallible, the story is correct to a degree because it gives because what the Bible is, as I've explained before, is a grimoire. It's a story that was written that people follow. And because they're using it as a playbook, as a grimoire, of course, a lot of it will come true because a lot of it is based in actual fact. But it's also esoteric, meaning that it's inside of the human body, that it's all based upon the human body. We're not going to get into all that here. I've explained that plenty of times. But if we live inside of this dome-shaped structure, and we could be underneath the sea, and it could be a larger reality, and this is how the construct works, and this is what getting out of body is. Let me show you where we live, because I explained this to you before, and we're going to do it again from this level. Here we go. Okay. We live in this vibrational construct right here. Here's the everything. Now, when you live inside of this we'd call physical reality down here. When you get out of body and you have that, what people call a silver cord, you go here. And now here's your soul body. Because where's the soul? The soul is the sun. Here's the Fisher King. Here's you, the larger God type second self structure. But getting up there, and this is just the same as Kundalini, and this is what the etheric substance is around things when you get out of body, and how thick it might be to some people, and people have experienced going through this dome right here. Now, here you are inside of this physical matrix. If you've never been out of body or don't know it, you go up here to the spiritual realm, which includes these bodies of energy, these planets. And they're always the planets. The 12 planets are, or depending on your theory or who the understanding that you have of whether it's used the Greek gods and or the 7 planets or whatever it might be. See, these archetypes of energy come down and radiate through here, through this sea. And at sea, I'm giving it all to you again, is the connection between Saturn, the timekeeper. Saturn is salt, is the cedar, is the timekeeper. It's the cube. So this is why the sea is salty, because it mimics itself. There's the cube. So here's all of the soul up here at top. Let me rewind a little bit of this for you. There we go. Let's go backwards here. So, again, Saturn, the planet, the energy body, is connected to what we call the cube. What is incubated? And the cube unfolded is this. Is the cross. There's your 6-sided cross. It doesn't matter how you unfold it, whether you unfold it that way or you unfold it this way. One we call this thing, which is the upside down triangle, and one is this triangle. Now you have to look into my other work if you don't understand what I'm saying there. But it's just 2 directions of the theory. But as what's happening here, I don't want to go too far out of staying on this path of explaining flat Earth, getting out of body, and what this cube of Saturn is. This cube, which is why the sea is salty and connected to the moon's artificial matrix basically causes refractions and reflections. Here we go. Almost finished with this. Here we go. Refractions and reflections of the actual soul light up here, which is the 100% full spectrum light, but then goes through the water, which is filled with cubes of salt, and it gives us the illusion of things. So when we have this idea of what the moon is and getting out of body, and all of the different what you'd call them monsters, moon stars. You call them moon stars. So whenever we see these things that are certain energy centers or energy systems out of body, we're actually seeing these archetypes through these cubes of salt. Now, we have these in our consciousness too because we consume salt. And this is the connection to the moon and incubating inside of us as well as outside of us. Now, here we go. Now we go to sleep and our body goes up here, outside of this. This is our body right here. Here's our body. We're laying down. And now we're able to get out of here. But as you're going outside of it, you run into what you consider the larger construct of what the moon is, and the larger construct of what the dome of Earth is. The dome of Earth is the dome of your skull. It holds in your belief system. It divides the waters, the clean water that should be in your head. And as you're trying to get out of body, you run across all these wonderful things, like these mermaids that try to keep you trapped because they're maids of the mer. And the mer is the water. And the mer is also connected to Mars, which is a war. But again, this is the water substance to keep you below water, to keep you as a fish. But and this is the story. It's not some guy, Jesus Christ figure connected to God. He's an archetype. He's an archon. But just every religion has that same exact archon in their religious material. But it's allegory for an esoteric understanding of what's happening in your body. And this is why I say it's happening in your body as well as outside of your body. This is what's going on outside of your body, but inside of your body, you're full of salt as well. And you're full of clean water. You're full of your pineal gland being the sunshine and the light, and the pituitary gland being the moonlight. You're full of those energy systems inside of your body. Some of them are charged and some of them are not. And as these systems come through this light, these ones here, as the 12 apostles, the 12 around the one, which is the sun, and the 12 energy systems, which are imbued into you as the zodiac, different harmonics can reach you in this dome that we live inside of. which is also the dome of your head. It's a macrocosm, microcosm. What's inside of you, this is your head. There's the plane that you live on. And then when you get out of body, you enter the larger body, which is out here. So this, you have your soul, which is connected to the soil of earth, which is connected to the larger soul. And just to regurgitate this one more time about this cubes of salt, which I really speak to people heavily on, the moon in the salt matrix is the Saturn timekeeper, because you're inside of time, and time is collapsed inside of the cube. So you've been incubated, just as anything is, inside of what the moon does. And what, again, what salt does is it surrounds something, just like a pickle. If you put a pickle and a cucumber in salty water, it surrounds that and it keeps it in a homeostasis. It's not quite living, it's not quite dead. It keeps it just like a tomb, just like the Egyptian kings and the pharaohs. What they tried to do was pickle themselves, basically, to keep their body, the atoms in their body, alive just enough. So when the tomb was removed, and the tomb is atom, the atom. So this is why Adam is the man, because the atom came down, and here's the king up here. The king is the son, is the Jesus, and down here is the Julius Caesar, the JC. I'm giving you a lot of different things here, but the JC is the hook. There's the fish. So you are fish. You are this man up here. You are that thing. Woman or man, doesn't really matter. It's just an allegory. I mean, it's actually true as well, in the sense of you're fishing for yourself down here. And this is you getting out of body, going through the cube of Saturn, releasing yourself from the salt and the incubation, which is controlled by the moon and the moon matrix, because the moon, being the surrogate mother, held you within these waters. Just like the birth process happens inside of your mother's womb, the natural womb, which is filled with waters, you were incubating inside of that in there. It was a plasmic structure, which is, again, full of what? As anybody knows, it's your blood is your plasma, is your urine, is your sweat. So now when you get into everything else I'm trying to explore with people and explain to people about the power of your urine, Orion's belt, and what this has to do with cleansing your body. You're putting the clean water back, and you're getting rid of the salt. And as you remove the salt, the fluidity between the where you are as a soul and getting out above this surface tension. We can get into surface tension sometime if you want to and understand how that works. There's much less surface tension when you get rid of the salt. The salt is actually causing a buoyancy, or a differentiation between what is liquid and what is gaseous, or what is liquid and what becomes mystic. So this gets into Gerald Pollack's work. It's called the fourth phase of water. We're turning you into a fourth phase of water, which gets rid of the salt and makes this area very easy to transverse. Hope you guys enjoyed. Chat soon.